We will start by pouring water on each plastic bottles. Make sure to put equal amount of water in each one of them. If you find it hard putting water inside the plastic bottle, you can use a funnel to pour water easily on the bottles. After you put water on each plastic bottle, the next step will be pouring sugar on bottle number 2 and bottle number 3. In bottle number 2, we will put 1 teaspoon of sugar, while in bottle number 3, we will put 3 teaspoons of sugar. The next step is pouring yeast on each plastic bottles. In my case, I put 1.5 tablespoons of yeast in each plastic bottles. After you put the yeast back in each plastic bottle, it's time to put the cap in each one of them. Then gently shake it. After you shake each bottles, carefully put the balloon on each one of them. Then observe what will happen. After I put the balloons on each bottles, 2 of them started to inflate, and it is balloon number 2 and balloon number 3. As a conclusion, the amount of air pressure on each bottles will depend on how much sugar you will put in them. That's why balloon number 1 doesn't inflate at all, while balloon number 2 and balloon number 3 inflates, but balloon number 3 has great amount of air pressure compared to balloon number 2.
The presenter extracted the experiment carefully and gave us a full detail on how to do and the result on the given experiment. Yeast are microscopic single-celled organism and a type of fungus that is found all around us. In water, soil, on plants, on animals, and in the air. In bottle 1, we saw that the balloon stays in its shape and that there is no reaction that takes place. Then we saw that the presenter put a different amount of sugar in 2 bottles and then put the yeast. Yeast can take out more energy from sugar when oxygen is present in their environment. In the absence of oxygen, yeast switch to an alternative pathway that does not require oxygen. This process is called fermentation. With fermentation, yeast can still get energy from sugar, but less energy is made from its sugar molecule. This process allows the yeast to survive and grow where no oxygen is available. The bubbles that we saw were tiny bubbles of carbon dioxide gas that the yeast was producing as it ate the sugar. As the yeast feeds on the sugar, it produces carbon dioxide. With no place to go but up, the gas fills the bottles and then fills the balloon as more gas is created.
The final digital output of cellular respiration with yeast. These are the materials that we use in the experiment. 3 plastic bottles, spoon, 3 pieces of balloons, yeast, water, and sugar. As we can see in the video in our experiment, after we do the procedures, the amount of air pressures of each bottle will depend on how much sugar you will put in them. That's why balloon number 1 doesn't inflate at all, while balloon number 2 and 3 inflates. But balloon number 3 has great amount of air pressures compared to balloon number 2.
In this experiment, the experimenter placed 1 tablespoon of sugar in bottle 2, 2 tablespoons of sugar in bottle 3, and no sugar in bottle 1. Then added 1.5 tablespoons of yeast to each bottle. Based on the observation, a bottle containing sugar can inflate a balloon, but a bottle containing no sugar accomplishes nothing. As a result, we infer that the sugar bottle may inflate the balloon to any size you desire depending on the amount of sugar you put in it, because the yeast creates carbon dioxide that it consumes the sugar. This gas steadily fills up the balloons and it has nowhere else to go but up. Yeast is a fungal microorganism that feed on sugar to create carbon dioxide and ethanol as a byproduct. And in this experiment, the bottle that has more sugar inflates the balloon bigger because it creates more carbon dioxide, and this process is known as fermentation.
So, here are the before, during, and after pictures in this activity. For the guide question, number 1, how did you find the activity? We find the activity fun and a bit hard because of the materials that needed in the experiment. We are amazed on how the balloon inflates even though it is in a closed container. We learn many things on the yeast and how it grows in an environment. Number 2. Was your hypothesis correct? It seems that our hypothesis is wrong after our presenter extracted the experiment. We thought that balloon will not inflate because there is no gas that produced by just shaking the bottle and then put the balloon on top of it. Number 3. Does room temperature affect how much gas is created by yeast? Explain. The temperature affects how much the gas is created by the yeast. The higher the temperature, the more carbon dioxide will be released by yeast, therefore forming a greater amount of bubbles. Number 4. Does the size of the container affect how much gas is created? Explain. Yes, the size of the container will affect how much gas is created because it is a larger container. There will be a bigger reaction rather than having a small container. Number 5. How does sugar affect the carbon dioxide production in yeast? When yeast eats sugar and turn into energy, they also produce carbon dioxide. This process is known as fermentation. When salt, baking soda, or vinegar was added, the yeast should have made less carbon dioxide, inflating the balloon less than when only sugar was used. Number 6. What water room temperature helps the yeast create the most gas? Water at 79 degrees Fahrenheit are considered the optimum temperature for achieving yeast multiplication. Water at 81 degrees to 100 degrees Fahrenheit is the optimum temperature range for the fermentation process. Water at 94 degrees Fahrenheit is the fermentation temperature that yields the best result. Number 7. Which setup was the control group? The control in this experiment was the treatment with 1 gram of yeast. This is a positive control because I expected to see an effect and I did see an effect in this treatment. Number 8. What is an independent variable? What was changed in this experiment? The independent variable is the one that you have complete control over during the experiment. Time, Philippine, temperature, or type of carbon dioxide. The value that was measured or calculated during the experiment is a dependent variable. Number 9. What is the independent variable? What was measured in this experiment? The value that was measured or calculated during the experiment is the dependent variable. CO2 volume, ml, or calculated respiration rate, ml CO2 min, over minutes were dependent variables in this example. Number 10. Write your final result or conclusion about this activity. As we can see in the video in our experiment, after we do the procedures, the amount of air pressure of each bottle will depend on how much sugar you will put in them. That's why balloon number 1 doesn't inflate while balloon number 2 and 3 inflates, but balloon number 3 has a great amount of air pressure compared to balloon number 2.